What's good, y'all? Trying something new, trying a little reaction or whatever the case may be, you feel me? Rollo Tomassi, he's a big red pill guy. I wouldn't consider myself necessarily that because I still got a long way to go, but he's one of my favorites. He's one of my favorites, so let's get into it.
Did things in the wrong order. Andre was the guy she needed at 29, not 23. However, the missing out reversed things, yes. And that is Michaela is a very good example of, first of all, the making up for missing out, but it's also living vicariously through her girlfriends. What happens mostly, when I get this question, guys will say, well, my wife, I married her at 19. We have kids. Now she's divorcing me. I just don't understand. Rollo, what happened? She said, we've become different people. Meanwhile, during her hoe phase, or what would have been her hoe phase, she's changing diapers and, making formula and doing the things that mom does and playing house, doing that stuff. Meanwhile, she's got the internet and she's got social media and she's living vicariously through her sister and for her girlfriends who are going out for the girls' night.
Bro, gentlemen, I'm telling you, women who have been in long-term relationships, let's say hypothetically, she's been in like relationships from like 15 to like 18 and then 18 to like 24. Bro, avoid them because they always have a fear of missing out. They always feel like they, again, like you said, if she got single friends too, big old red flag. Big old red flag. Because because with her, when things go left in y'all relationship, she's gonna confide in her friends. And then her single friends are gonna be like, yo, feel me, come out with it. You'll be surprised. I know this girl in a solid relationship. She's like upset because she can't go out and twerk. Can you imagine a man makes good money, fully invested in her, don't cheat, no none of that, and she's talking about, I want to be able to twerk. Can you imagine, bro? So yo, if she got single friends, big old red flag. And a girl, it's crazy. Do they have to go through a whole phase? Do they have to go through a whole phase? Because that's the issue when you have a girlfriend in her early 20s, they're really gonna have a fear of missing out because they're gonna feel like, damn, if I wasn't in this relationship, I could be out having fun. I could be talking to X, Y, and Z. I'm like, yo, bro, like a relationship is typically what women want long term. So why would you even focus on that? And the women in relationships, they want to act like they're single, and then the women who are single long for a relationship.
Out in Vegas, we're going to the clubs, going to the yacht parties, and even if that's not the case, by order of degrees, it is the case. Now, of course, maybe not every girl has friends that are going to be on the going on a girls' night out or something like that. Maybe not all of them like that, but maybe they're going to line dancing in Nashville. Maybe they're going whatever it is that young ladies do during their hoe phase in a globalized sexual marketplace. That's what she's missing out on. And so she lives vicariously. You'll also find, by the way, like older women will do the same thing. They will, like if they have a daughter or whatever, and they are trying to make up for missing out, and they realize they can't pull themselves out of their living situation because the guy that they're with either has, he makes more money than her or whatever. They will still find ways to.
I've noticed that too with moms. Because I've seen a few women, like they've been told by their mothers, guys always gonna be there, go out, have fun, travel, X, Y, and Z. And their moms were married at 21. So I'm like, yo, your mom is married for 40 plus years and she married at your age. Why is your mom telling you to do? And here's why, because they have fear of missing out, and because they can't live the life that they felt like they should have. They want their daughters to do it. They don't want their daughters to make the same mistake as them. Low key.
To live vicariously through their daughter, through their girlfriends, through their sister, whatever it is. So that has never been easier than in the 21st century, courtesy of just what we're doing right now. Social media in particular. But and when that girl gets to be 29, do women still go through an epiphany phase if they already had babies? Yeah, they do. Here it is. This is a good example of that. Guys will say, well, I don't think she's going to go. She missed her epiphany phase because I wifed her up at 23 and we had babies and she's been a great mother. And I'm sure her ability to capitalize or leverage that epiphany phase or that hoe phase or whatever it is that you're going to call it, like I said, the timeline, that there a woman's ability to make the most of this right here is really kind of depends on the woman.
Hold on, let me read that right quick. Party years, epiphany, transition, security. So that's like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. From the age of like 31 to 35, look for security. Development, that's tough. That's what happens to women. They start to get frazzled in their 30s looking for a man.
Like your party years later, like a woman who's like grossly overweight, which is of course 40% of women right now, and at least 75% of the U.S. population, right? Overweight or obese. Your ability to maximize the party years is going to be very much hindered by social conventions and certainly by your weight when you're in your party years.
Listen, if you got a baby, bro, in my opinion, I'm nobody. I'm just a guy. In my opinion, bro, once you have a kid, hang it up for party years. I'm sorry. You missed out. You messed up. I'm sorry. In my opinion, like, you got a kid, you'll hang it up, bro. I'm sorry. That's your life is about your kid now. I'm sorry. You can't be taking someone pouring Henny shots in your mouth. I don't care if you're 21, 24, 32. Your party years is finito, okay? Worry about the kid.
So maybe, well, we'll find a nice convenient way to make my necessity a virtue. I'm fat, so now I want to get into, I've got to go find who my Prince Charming is at the church. I mentioned that on the Steve Harvey show that I did, which actually was a really great show. If you haven't seen that, I think I'm gonna link it at the end of this video. But when I took Steve Harvey to the carpet about, or actually it was the woman, but the woman who was saying, I'm 35 years old and I'm waiting for God to give me my prince or what is it? The Ciara, by the way, 29 again, already had a kid with Future before she got to where she was, with Russell, and she lucked out. She actually, her bet paid off. Is she going to be thinking about like going back? Probably not at this stage because she's 36 years old and she's with Russell Wilson. But had she got with some guy who was not quite as good as like Future, she might like Russell Wilson might suffer the same fate as Will Smith when Russell gets to be about 52, 53 years old. Don't know. Not saying, I'm not making predictions, but the template fits. And why does it fit? Well, because it's making up for missing out. I could have been doing this. My life that could have been. And
as human beings, it's kind of natural for us to have a fear of missing out. No matter what path you choose, even if it works out swimmingly for you, in the back of both men and women, in the back of your mind, you're gonna be thinking, man, what if? What if I chose this way? What if I chose that person? What if I did that? What if I did that? It's human nature. Typically though, women have it more than men.
I got asked earlier, and I forget who asked me this on the super chat, so forgive me because I can't scroll all the way back up to it. But somebody asked me, how does solipsism, female solipsism, factor in to innate solipsism? How does it factor in to the, certainly kill the party and the epiphany phase? Good question. In a gynocentric social order that is steeped in social media right now, all we do is pander to solipsism. Because when we're like, men would never, like when we talk about like slut shaming, where we talk about like, women say, they're harassed online. Yeah, women are harassed by other women. Women are harassed or are slut shamed by other women primarily. Most guys, particularly in the latter half of the millennial generation and probably most of the Generation Z, they wouldn't dream of stepping on your toes. In fact, they walk on eggshells, ladies. They don't want to be like typical. They don't want to be like,
I've always noticed that too. I've always said this, where I think women call other women female dogs and sluts a lot more than men do. A lot more than men do. Like, men typically don't slut shame. Like, because if a man obtains or gets a woman, You know, a man is feeling like, oh, I got that because of me. Like, I'm not thinking like more times than not, it's probably less that, oh, she's a slut, and more so like I'm the man for getting her. Like, so like a lot of things that women do, I really do feel like it's validation from other women. Because the men I talk to, bro, they don't really care about nails, they don't really care about hair, they don't really care about eyebrows. As long as you don't look like a caveman, you're good to go. But women, you know, especially black women that have the fake hair, the fake nails, and X, Y, and Z. And I've seen women comment, "Oh, her hair looks crazy." I've seen men comment too, but mostly women's like, "Yo, oh, her hair look crazy. Oh, her nails, oh, she look crazy. Da, 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 X, Y, and Z. Da, da, da. She look crazy." Mostly women comment on how other women look. Man, we just look at you like, "Yo, like we don't care. Like you whatever." So you feel me? Not really men in that aspect anyway.
The Dan Bilzerian, they don't want to be Andrew Tate. They don't want to like step on your feet. They want to be as nice and courteous and romantic and chivalrous as they possibly can, for the most part. Maybe online they want to vent and be little bitches about things, but meet them in real life, and if they're trying to get in your pants, or if they're trying to warm you up to something of a relationship, or get a peck on the cheek, they're not going to risk. They're not going to take any chances that would ruin that that ability. So when we're pandering to that, or when we're not being judgmental, what are we doing? We are also reinforcing solipsism. The solipsism is, of course, nothing outside of outside of the self exists. Everything exists to like focus in on the woman. Men are concerned with things, women are concerned with people. And the first person they're concerned with is themselves. You don't have to teach a woman to have mental point of origin. Solipsism already solved that problem for her. So solipsism is a necessary, again, this is not a negative or a positive. Solipsism is a necessary part of women's psychology because it has to be. They had to be concerned with their own survival. They are the vulnerable sex. The children are vulnerable. It was Dr. Gatzad. This is the Gadfather. God was responding to this article about how human beings are not actually monogamous. They're actually more promiscuous than anything else. And I have done till I'm blue in the face about promiscuity and socially enforced monogamy and I've been very outspoken against poly, but not because I don't think that human beings are promiscuous. It's not a black or white thing. It's not an on or off. There's no binaries in this. The reason I'm against it is because of the human response for jealousy and mate guarding. These are very well established, very well studied, dynamics in human beings.
Yeah, me personally, I don't think I could do polygamy just because, like, yeah, I don't think I'm built for it. But I know of one particular polygamous situation, and the woman actually got jealous of the other woman because she felt like he was more so dealing with the other woman. And yeah, like even in those situations, like it's hard for a man to deviate his love evenly between two women, evenly. And if it's not, another woman's gonna pick up on that, and it's gonna go left regardless.
That doesn't. We are jealous because it worked for everybody that came before us. That's why I'm against poly, not because of not moral issues or anything like that. I mean, hell, I tell you to go and spin plates, but I don't tell you go have a main chick and then have 3 side chicks. I don't know. I say just play the field, just be up front, spin plates, date non-exclusively. That's not poly. That's you just you expanding. You're being prudent, my friend. You are weighing your options, and I would suggest you do that for as long as you possibly can until such a time that you have some real world experience with women, you understand their nature, and then, right, like I said, don't consider monogamy until you're 30 or 30. Certainly don't consider marriage, if at all, but certainly not till you're 36 or thereabouts.
So that was my very first reaction video. Let me know if you want to see more of this. Probably gonna do more of this regardless. So yeah, I sincerely appreciate every single last one of you guys.